ice monkeys can now be placed on water, so we're going to try chimps but be limited to only placing land monkeys in the sea. We started off with a 0-1-0 ice monkey in the middle pool of spa pits. This was able to solo the rounds until the middle of 10 when we got enough money to get our hero, Pat Fusty, the OG land monkey that can float. This added quite a bit of damage to our setup and let us work towards an Arctic wind. Once we get that upgrade, we can place more monkeys on his ice platform. On the way there, we had to pick up Cold Snap to pop the Camo Green on 24 and use Pat's Roar to pop the purples and regrows on round 25. But by the time we finished the round, we bought the 2-3-0 Ice Monkey. From here, we could pick just about anything to go forward with, but I had to make sure they could pop frozen balloons, as that would be tragic if their shots kept getting stopped by our icy boy. My first thought was a Red Hot Rangs, but while we were upgrading him to a 302, I realized we need to get ready for the camos coming soon. Normally, I'd get a Ninja, but because of the ice, we went with a Wall of Fire Wizard, buying the Fireball upgrade just in time for the camos on 33. And his Wall of Fire made the next few rushes easy, letting us save up for a Dragon's Breath and then a more Glaives for the round 40 Moab. Even with these though, the blimp made it a couple pools into the map before popping. But this brings us to the 40s and gives us some time to think about the future. We could have gone any direction, but getting more ice monkeys felt true to the challenge. So the new goal is to get all 3 tier 5s of this chilly guy. We put a new one right next to Pat and made him a 4-2-0 embrittlement on round 48. This will give us some extra damage and a bit of camo detection. To make sure we didn't lose though, we bought some safe upgrades next. We started by making the Wizard a Summoned Phoenix and buffing all our monkeys with a primary training village, giving them extra attack speed and permanent camo detection. With these, we saved up quite a bit of money. Sometimes the balloons would get through the middle, like on round 64, but we were never at risk of leaking. And on 73, we were able to get the Glaive Lord, locking up the mid-game and letting us go back to Ice Monkeys. The first one, Icicle Impale. It's been a long time since I've used this guy. He used to be one of my main ways of dealing with DDTs back when I was black bordering beginner maps, but I've gotten much better at popping them over the years. Anyway, we got this insane slower on round 84, just in time for the late game ZOMGs. Then it was time for the Super Brittle. It won't be the best pickup as we don't have very many projectiles, but we'll happily take that extra damage. And we got it when a bunch of green turtles were on top of our embrittlement on run 94. Pretty good timing. And to round out our axis of ice, we upgraded our first ever Ice Monkey to a 250 Arctic Wind on round 96, which adds an amazing global slow anytime we need it. This let us coast to round 100. We didn't have the most single target damage, but by spamming our abilities, we broke open the outer layer near the top of the map and cleaned up the inside shortly after, letting us beat chimps with only land towers on water.